Konnichiwa, and welcome to Tsuki no Ame, where we try Japanese sweets and treats. Today we have 3 treats from Tokyo Treat. We have this Tohato caramel corn puffs, which I'm going to admit they kind of frighten me a little bit because they look like a Cheeto, but they're caramel corns. It's gonna be interesting. I'm a little nervous about this one, I have to admit. And then we have, of course, a seasonal Kit Kat. These are sweet potato flavors. And what's kind of fun is, I'm gonna try to hold this up where you don't get the glare. It actually says "Thank you always" over here. This little ghost is just saying that. And that's kind of a thing over in Japan that Kit Kats will sometimes have messages. They actually had like this huge campaign for a while where you could get a Kit Kat with a message like thank you and whatnot. And then on the back, you have a space where you could actually write like a little message. And they had this whole marketing thing surrounded or centered around sending a Kit Kat to send messages of things like thank you and appreciation and whatnot, just as a way to kind of reach out. So I'm very excited about this, and actually they came in this really fun little bag, which is just so super cute. And on the back, it actually has instructions for if you cut along the dotted lines on here, the top parts on both sides fold down and you can color them and actually make like a fun little display stand thing for holding your Kit Kats and kind of serving them, which I think is just really creative and fun. Kit Kat has really kind of made an effort to put in some more interactive elements in their wrapping to make them, just a little more useful, that they're not just something that you open up and discard. You can actually do something with them, which I think is just a really cool idea and would love to see that picked up by more companies and in more places, just because we do get a ton of these wrappers and they really kind of are just a waste. So that makes it so they have at least a few more steps before they do go to that point of just becoming waste that needs to either be handled or recycled. And then last but not least, we have this Pokemon, supposedly Halloween, well, kind of Halloween themed Choco Pie. And it looks like it's kind of a little on the lines of like a Little Debbie's or a Hostess kind of snack cakey thing. And I'm a little concerned about the state of it because it looks like it's been crushed in shipping pretty badly. So we will have to be careful not to hold that against it, just because, it did come clear from Japan. It's a rough journey. And honestly, just glad to be able to get to try it. So let's get started. Itadakimasu! Alright, so we're just going to get these taken care of first and foremost. Here's hoping that they are better than I anticipated. I mean, Cheetos are quite lovely. We're just going to have to see how they translate over to sweet form. And yeah, these are definitely like a very puffed, corn puffy snack. They look a lot like puffed Cheetos. They definitely have the texture and the consistency of a puffed Cheeto. The caramel on the outside is nothing like that, fortunately. It is got a little bit of that kind of candy shell that forms on a lot of these caramel treats. It's sweet with a touch of salt. Not bad. I don't know that this is going to be my favorite treat. It's kind of like a caramel bugle in flavor with the texture of a puffed Cheeto. I think that's the best way to describe this. So if you like bugles and you like the texture of puffed Cheetos, then these are probably right up your street. I'm certainly not going to have a problem with finishing the bag. I just am not sure that I would personally want to reach for a second, though I also might not say no to a second if it was offered to me. So definitely nowhere near as bad as I thought it could be, but definitely better than I anticipated. So now we have the sweet potato Kit Kat. Okay, and right away, I'm just gonna call out, it has kind of a waxy texture on my fingers, which has me concerned because sometimes these specialty flavors can have a very waxy texture, and sometimes that can affect the flavor. Not always, just gonna have to try it. Definitely has a waxy texture. Very, very waxy texture. The flavor is good. It tastes like a sweet potato. So if you like sweet potatoes, which I do, that aspect isn't too bad, but the texture is honestly pretty unpleasant. I'll finish the bag that I have, but I'm not sure that I would want to get a second bag, if that makes sense. Like I'm glad I tried it. It's certainly fun, but it's certainly not going to unseat regular Kit Kats when I'm reaching for some sort of chocolatey treat. And I would say that I've had flavored Kit Kats I think turned out a bit better than that, but still really fun to try. And, sweet potatoes are a big deal this time of year, especially over in Japan. And so, certainly worth trying. It was fun. All right, so we have the Pokemon Choco Pie. And already, yeah, I can see it's definitely gotten crushed. It's been smushed, but it's not as bad a shape as it could be. Oh, I say that, and then a big, huge piece just falls right off of it. So that said, it certainly doesn't look like it's not edible, so we're going to give it a try. Very similar to Little Debbie's and Hostess style snack cakes. Actually, the chocolate coating is definitely on the waxy side. It's not a very good chocolate. And what it kind of reminds me of is Little Debbie's has these cherry cordial snack cakes where they have kind of the cakey cookie like build for the base of it with the chocolate coating on the outside. And the main difference between this and that is that the filling in there is cherry flavored and this is vanilla. But it honestly tastes very similar. I would say the chocolate is not quite as good as the Little Debbie's. If you have the choice between this and something you can get locally, I might opt for the local. But if you are a huge Pokemon fan and you just love the Pokemon, it might be worth it, if nothing else, for the super cute picture of Pikachu and the array of sweets for the Halloween party. I'd say that is definitely the highlight of this one. So, gochisousama. All right, to recap, we have the Tohato caramel corn puffs, which kind of taste like a caramel bugle with the texture of a puff Cheeto. Certainly not as bad as it might first appear, so if you're feeling a little hesitant looking at it, worth the risk if you enjoy the texture of puff Cheetos and you like the flavor of caramel bugles. It's worth trying and just kind of pushing past that. Then we have the sweet potato Kit Kats. Very, very waxy texture on the chocolate. If you like trying like the seasonal and the different flavors of Kit Kats, it's certainly worth a try, but I would not, I wouldn't get a big bag, if that makes sense. This bag here, it's a 10 count bag. I don't think most people are going to want more than that. Uh, that is certainly enough for you to have one or two and to be able to share with the people around you. Whereas I've had some of these specialty flavors where I actually actively hunted it down and got myself like a big, huge bag with quite a bit more, just because I liked it so much. So that kind of, I hope that helps put that in perspective when I say that, the smaller the 10 count bag is probably going to be more than enough if you're wanting to give it a try. And then, of course, the Pokemon Choco Pie, uh, very similar to snack cakes that you can get here in the US. And for those of you who are outside the US, you will have to, of course, take a look at your own local, but it seems to me like you should be able to find something locally that's similar. So if you're looking for something that's tasty, I might go reach for a local brand first. But if you're a big fan of Pokemon and you just really have to have, that image of Pikachu, then I definitely recommend just splurging for it if that's the thing that your heart desires. So thank you so much for joining me today. It was great getting to, try all of these. If you like my shirt, the link for that is in the description down below. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Johnny!